I accidentally overheard my boyfriend telling his friend that he never wants to get married, but when we started dating, he was dating to marry, and now I'm realizing that I've essentially been a wife without being one, and it's unfair. My boyfriend, 33M, and I, 33F, had been together for about 3 years. When we first started dating, he said he was dating to marry, and we had a lot of honest, open conversations about wanting to build towards that level of commitment and partnership. In the years since, we've moved in together and supported each other through so much. As of late, I've been feeling a bit sad because 3 years have gone by and there has been no talk of engagement or marriage, which doesn't align at all with how adamant my boyfriend was about marriage as a goal when we first met. He would even often tell me how a little voice in his head was telling him to just marry me after we'd only been together a few months, and other things that made marriage seem like a legitimate goal and priority, but I haven't seen that come into play at all. To make matters worse, I recently overheard him having a conversation with his friend in which he said I could never see myself getting married. This hurt me quite badly, but instead of freaking out or getting noticeably upset, I just asked him about it. I didn't admit that I'd overheard his conversation, but I did ask what his honest thoughts were about marriage and if his thoughts about it had changed over the years. He responded that he isn't sure he still believes in marriage and can't decide if societal ideas are making him feel pressure to get married one day, or if it's something he actually wants. I reasserted that getting married is a priority for me and I fully intend to be a wife someday. He didn't really have anything to say to that. We walked away from this conversation very calmly, no heated emotions, but I think I need to leave my boyfriend over this. I'm also realizing that I have basically given him all the benefits of being married without actually marrying him, and that this is no longer fair to me. I don't resent him and I don't regret the ways I've been able to support him, but this has included giving this man a lot of money over the years when he was struggling financially, which I did because it felt like the right thing to do, and because I thought we were meant to be life partners. What do you think? Do I need to move on? Update. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the hundreds of people who commented on my original post and gave me their heartfelt opinions and advice. I didn't expect such a huge response, and I'm genuinely grateful. To make a long story short, I left him. The truth is, it's not just marriage that my ex was putting off. He continually made promises for the near and distant future that just never came true, from vacations to home renovations, and when I confronted him more directly about the prospect of marriage, he informed me that he didn't feel sure about marrying me, primarily because our families haven't met yet and because I wasn't willing to buy a house together before we got married. He denied ever saying he could never see himself getting married, but I know what I heard, so. We had the buying a house together conversation towards the beginning of the relationship, and I was firm and clear that I didn't feel comfortable doing that unless I was married. In fact, I didn't think it was relevant to include it in my previous post because I thought it had been resolved between us. And I don't see why our families should meet if we aren't at least engaged, but maybe that's just me. We had other issues as well, which I won't go into too deeply, but over time I've started to feel less like a partner and more like a housekeeper. My ex was very, very messy, and a frustration he voiced as we were breaking up was that I wasn't willing to pick up after him. I'm not kidding. He used those words. I did my best to keep that house clean, but there are certain things I would just give up on because it's frustrating to clean up after a grown adult who's throwing trash and clothing all over the floor and furniture. I felt very stung by all this. Honestly, I think I deserve better. I also did the math and learned that I had given him nearly $18,000 over 3 years, most of which went towards his mortgage. Yikes. He offered, without me prompting, to start paying it back, but I haven't started making those arrangements yet. I'm currently staying with my parents through the holiday season and will be moving into a new place in January. As sad as I feel, I also feel deeply at peace. My husband is out there, and I know I will find him in the coming years.